Hello there, everybody! This is Squawkster, and I have a ton of things to cover, so let's go on and get started. First news is E3 2013. It was very impressive. They had tons of games to showcase. Both Microsoft, Sony, both gave a pretty strong amount of effort. I really liked the games they showcased. Today we're going to be going into detail about most of them, not every single one, but I'm going to go into really detailed information about Battlefield 4, about Call of Duty Ghosts, no, actually, about TitanFall, and about, what was it, Mirror's Edge 2, also, what I saw. These are 4 games that I'm really excited for, 3 games I'm really excited for, and, just out of all the showcases I've seen, everything I've seen so far by E3, the most impressive one by far was definitely Call of Duty Ghosts. Did you see the part where the fish moved out of the way when he swung past them?
The next-gen power of this new game.
Damn. No. But, no, in all honesty, I'm going to go to talk about Titanfall, which is the first one I'm talking about. And the reason why is because I thought it was the most creative. It wins my award for the most creative game that I've so far seen. The reason why that is because graphics, they were alright, you know. Rumors say that it was created on the Source engine, which is a very good engine, but it's a dated engine, so, you know, you can't expect magical, amazing, next-generation graphics on the Source engine. That being said, graphics do not make a game. Just because something doesn't have the best graphics does not mean it's a good game. And I saw that Titanfall game, and I was like, is this single player or multiplayer? Because it was really interesting the way they integrated the kind of aspect. It kind of felt like single player, but it was a multiplayer match. I can't remember which game did that. What was it? There was a couple games that did things like that. And I really like those games. So I think that if Titanfall pulls it off, that'd be fantastic. If you pay attention to the scenes where he's running, he gets into these mechs. It's a really smooth transition. You're running from mech, and then you go from mech to body armor. You're in your regular suit, and it feels like Call of Duty, but it also feels like you're, kind of feels like, I don't know how to describe it. Just the way you move around is very fluid. You're running very fast. You're wall jumping. It's like a mixture of a bunch of games. We got BioShock. We got Mirror's Edge. We have Call of Duty. We have a bunch of games mixed into one. It was really creative the way they did it. And I'm really excited for it because just the way, a lot of it was scripted. I'm going to give you that. It was very scripted, the way you pulled the guy out of the mech and everything. But it looked like a fantastic game from Respawn Entertainment. I'm really excited to see it. And considering it's an Xbox One exclusive, that might be the game that makes me buy the Xbox One. Because if you've seen my previous video, I did a rant on the Xbox One, which was wasn't very good. So, yeah, hopefully maybe that's the game that will convince me to play it. Get it? Also, let's go ahead and get past Titanfall. We've already covered that. Let's talk about Mirror's Edge 2. If I can get this cap on this straight. Mirror's Edge 2 looked like a very fantastic game. From what I've seen, they didn't show much. It was more of a teaser more than anything. But there was some gameplay there. And I really liked the way they integrated the physics support. Mirror's Edge 1 had physics, but if you notice, the displacement mapping and all the different features, the way that the glass actually stayed on the ground instead of falling through the terrain, like most games do, which I don't really understand because we're living in the 2013 era. Glass, when it falls, it should not go through the ground. Doesn't make much sense. That's not how it works in real life, but those features really interesting to me. I am somebody who does appreciate decent graphics. Although gameplay is more important to me, the graphics were definitely top-notch. Other than graphics, though, it looked very similar to Mirror's Edge 1. I'm not going to give you that. I mean, I will give you that, but that's a good thing in my opinion. Because Mirror's Edge 1 was a fantastic game. So even if it's the same game, just different levels, I will buy it again. They did add some new features. I saw those new animations, the way you slid in. But honestly, I kind of want it to be the same. Because I feel like if they do too much change, then it's going to be not this. It's not going to have the same magical feel. The reason why Call of Duty is failing right now is because they're doing the exact same thing Mirror's Edge is doing, which is making the same game over again, but this is only the second game. When you've made, what, 9 sequels? 9 sequels of the same game, then, and they're all so similar, then nobody wants to pay for the same game again. $60, $80, whatever the launch title price is for new consoles. So Mirror's Edge 2 looks very similar to Mirror's Edge 1. I'm very excited for it because I loved Mirror's Edge 1. So hopefully it could be something that I'll truly enjoy doing and I can do a Let's Play on it. Let's move on to Battlefield 4. Now this game was very impressive to me. And by impressive, I mean the features that they have implemented are great. Because they didn't change a lot. A lot of the same shooting mechanics that they changed was very minuscule. If you notice, look at Battlefield 4, people are saying, oh my gosh, look how amazing this looks. It's pretty much the same thing as Battlefield 3. But the reason why I'm so excited for Battlefield 4 is because Battlefield 3 is a great game, but they kind of lost their roots. They lost their roots from Bad Company 2. Bad Company 2 was a great game, and even Battlefield 2, way back, that was also a fantastic game. And Battlefield 3 was nothing like either of those games. It was so separate from the whole series that it felt like an entirely different game altogether. Battlefield 4 looks more similar to Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 2 than Battlefield 3 does, which I think is a very good thing. So hopefully, you know, they can, if you've noticed that when they shot the pillars, the way the destructible environments collapsed and the tank fell through, that was really neat to me. This is true realistic destruction. For all you who don't know, Battlefield 3 uses scripted destruction. Well, all the Battlefields have used scripted destruction. That means that the destruction isn't actually destruction. It's shot at something, it activates a script, and the script activates the destruction. It's not actually from the whole, it's not actually real destruction the way destruction is supposed to be, like, for example, with Faction Guerrilla. But Battlefield 4 is using real destruction. I can also compare it to Half-Life 2, which is uses a really good physics destruction engine. The way it collapses and falls apart looks awesome. And I actually am excited for that. The only part of the destruction that looked scripted to me was the skyscraper falling. In fact, I know for a fact that is scripted. Just so you guys know, what I mean by scripted is every time you shoot that skyscraper, it's gonna fall down the same. Every single time it's gonna fall over the same way. But unscripted destruction is when every time you destroy it, it's gonna destroy it different. It's gonna look different. So that's what I mean by that. Other than destruction, I really like that they brought the commander back. I think that's a really cool feature. The maps looked massive. I mean massive. Like, oh, I thought Battlefield 3 maps were pretty large. I mean, of course, not comparable to Arma, but Battlefield 3 maps are huge compared to Call of Duty, of course. But Battlefield 4 maps look, what, 5-6 times the size? I mean, that's really crazy. It almost looks like a single-player game. All the action that was going on, there was definitely at least 64 people in that server, and you saw tanks rolling on the ground, you saw helicopters flying through. They added a bunch of new animations. The way you open your parachute, you actually grab the chute with your hand. I think that's really neat. So it just feels like a way much larger sense of scale. You feel like you're actually in war. Other than, instead of being on a tiny little map, confined, and shooting a bunch of people, it actually feels like a lot larger scale. I think that's awesome. So, we've covered, what? Battlefield 4. I'm not going over Call of Duty Ghosts just because it looks like Modern Warfare 3 to me. You run around, you control a dog, and you rip people's throats out. That's cool. I like the new displacement mapping and all that, and the tessellation features, and the sub-D. That's a cool feature, but they're not implementing and advancing enough to really impress me as much as the other console games are right now. There's a bunch of other games, Metal Gear Solid 5, I'm extremely excited for. I'm not going to go over it much because they didn't give me much to go on. What I do know is it's an open world game, which I'm really excited for. It looks like Red Dead Redemption to me, but it's stealth based, so that's really interesting. I'm wondering how that's going to work out. The game looks awesome. I've always been a fan of Metal Gear Solid and Red Dead Redemption, so considering that they're combining those two and making it modern, I mean, probably a buy right out of the gates. I didn't even know the game was open world till now, so more you know, I guess. And then, what else? Lost Planet 3 was revealed. Not impressed. I wasn't impressed at all. Nothing really stood out to me. Seemed a lot like Lost Planet 2. Didn't really innovate that much to me. So, those are the games that really stood out in my mind. I'm really excited for all of those games. Halo 5, of course, it's a live action, or I'm sorry, CGI trailer, so I don't know what to go on. Halo 4, I didn't really like too much. I played the original Halo. I loved the original Halo. So hopefully they can go back to their roots. They didn't really change that much, but I just feel like they kind of changed the magical feel. Do you guys remember the magical feel that Halo Combat Evolved gave you? It was something that no other Halo has ever perfected since then. It's just something magical about it. Wow, magical. I'm really excited for these new consoles. More so the PlayStation 4. I'm still gonna get a lot of these games for my PC, but I see that they're busting out a lot of console exclusives. It makes me want to buy both these consoles, and I probably will. I do want to get Titanfall. That'll probably make me buy an Xbox One, and I do want to get a couple of these PlayStation games, especially the free-to-play games that they're bringing to the PlayStation. Looks very interesting. I think that they're bringing Blacklight and PlanetSide and games like that to the PlayStation 4. I think that's a great idea because free-to-play games are really take off on PC. And I think if they brought them to consoles, they take off even more. Because a lot of people who play consoles are kids, obviously. I mean, it's cheaper. It's a cheaper alternative. And children don't have a ton of money unless their parents buy it. It's just a fact. I mean, if you look up the statistics, I'm obviously a kid. I'm a PC gamer, but the statistics state that more kids play console. So if they give them free games, they'll probably be more successful than on PC if you think about it. Anyways, I'm done with my whole conversation. I really hope you enjoyed this little overview. If you have any comments, any kind of things you want to put, any advice, or anything I didn't go over, remember to leave those in the comments. Check out my other channel, The Epic Squawk. I really hope that you enjoy this video. And I'm going to try to take a deep breath because I've been talking really fast for like the last 12 minutes. Thank you for watching. And this is Squawkster signing out.